The other day, I went on Greater Anglia and C2C to see which operator is actually the best. How did I do this? Well, Greater Anglia run a half-hourly service between London Liverpool Street and Southend Victoria, whereas C2C, its rivaling company, runs between London Fenchurch Street and Shoebury Ness, running services every few minutes via Southend Central. To see which one's the best, we'll be checking out the train and its amenities. They both run similar trains, with both running Class 720 units, but C2C also run Class 357 units that you're most likely to catch. To see which one's best, I'm going to be riding them today, from London to Southend and Southend to London. Right, so I'm starting off with Greater Anglia on the 720s. I'm going to take this one all the way to Southend Victoria. Great. I've been on a Greater Anglia Class 720 before. I've been on them quite a lot recently, because why not? And we're going to go Southend. We're not going to get any stops in between. That's not what this type of video is. We're reviewing Greater Anglia and C2C to see which one is best. We're starting off at London Liverpool Street. Gonna go to Southend, Stratford, Liverpool Street. But, you know, see. And as I ate my Greggs sausage roll, we were off towards Southend, Victoria. So seating on this train is in a 3+2 configuration. Different to most events.
The next stop will be Wickford.
Yes, it will be, but it makes the train quite cramped. And now people do complain about that, but it's what they wanted. Greater Anglia put out a poll when these trains came in service. Would they want more seats with no first class, or first class with less seats? But they chose this, so I don't know why they're complaining. But yeah, seats are really good. It's not exactly the same on C2C, as they are 3+2, but it's different, as some parts are 2+2. It's weird. But, yeah. Nice seats. I noticed last time I was on one of these that these tray tables are so hard to get down. It's because they're magnetic. It just takes some force. So they're pretty big. You can put a cup there. Decent tables. Just the magnets are too strong. And during the journey, there were plug sockets so I could charge my phone so it wouldn't run out. We then also stopped off at stations like Wickford. It's Rayleigh. Not Rayleigh Bay. And much others I didn't record because I'm too lazy. There were passenger screens, flip-down seats near the wheelchair-accessible toilet, and much more that a modern train would need. Right, I don't understand how there's plug sockets like this, and it says not for public use. If there's already plug sockets on the train, then why not just make them for public use? I know they're for cleaners and that, but may as well let them be used. Something I don't get about on the 720s, just the 720s, I don't think the 730s have them. But there's this on seats at the end of the carriage. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me why this would be there. It doesn't help at all, because it's just cushioning for your knees, but why? Right, I do want to say the PA system is very, very clear. Like, you wouldn't be able to not hear it.
The next stop will be Rochford.
Exactly, it just plays every like 10 seconds like the Elizabeth line. It's something with these adventures, something. They just like talking.
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
Now that we're getting off the Greater Anglia train, we will review it at the end, reviewing both C2C and Greater Anglia together. But At Southend, I went down to the pier on this peculiar-looking train, but then I made it to Southend Central to ride C2C. So I have sort of bad news, because I did say I was going to get on two 720s today and review them both, as they're both the same train, but sadly our train is one of these, as the 720 that was going to run our service was cancelled because of something. So we're going to be on a 357, but it's still going to be a fair review, as 357s are C2C's flagship train, so you're most likely going to get on one of these. So, we're on C2C. I've never been on C2C before, because it's quite small. It only does like one line between London and Shoebury-Ness, with like a little bit near Grays, sort of. But yeah, trains are nice-ish. I mean, I'm not a fan of what they look like inside, but it is decent. So yeah, we'll have a look. The seats weren't that good, but they were viable for a trip like this. The interior of the train was a bit too colourful for me, with the green luggage racks not really fitting the train. I don't find it fair to deduct sort of, I don't know, points for this train because it's older, even though C2C do have younger trains. So I'm not gonna say that it's worse because of that, because they do have 720s. I just wasn't able to get on one. So, yeah. As I was about to go to the toilet, I have just realised. You sit in one of these seats, but there's space for a table, but there is no table. I don't understand that. Oh, but look, it's a seat. Yeah, I was just there, that was cool. But, yeah, I don't understand that. Oh, there are tables here. I might move here, because my seat doesn't have tables for some reason. Even though I've been hating on C2C so far, I think the views are way better than Greater Anglia. I went to go check out the accessible toilet. It was out of service, so I walked down the train to see if I could find standard toilet. They don't have them on these trains. It's weird, because it's a 4-car unit, there is no toilet. I find that quite bad, actually, because if you have a condition where you need the toilet, it's not good, is it? The floor was also quite mucky on these trains, which wasn't the case on Greater Anglia. We are now
or text the British Transport Police on 6101.
Upminster. It's from this moment where we spur off with the District line, following it all the way to West Ham, where we then follow the DLR towards Fenchurch Street, which is right next to the DLR's stop of Tower Hill. And that's the end of me being on C2C in Greater Anglia. Because I'm lazy, I'm going to make me at home do it, because I don't want to do it right now. So you'll get me on a voiceover or something explaining which one is better. So, who won? Well, in my opinion, Greater Anglia has amazing trains, with them having accessible toilets. Even with a wheelchair user on board, they seem to be enjoying their journey. They're just amazing trains. The 3+2 seating, some people think is a letdown, but I quite think it's good because of capacity on the routes that they do, especially on the Great Eastern Main Line, where trains can get really busy. C2C their trains aren't all that. I was going to get on a 720, so maybe their rating would be a bit higher. But considering I went on the older class 357 units, I have a little bit of a worse rating for them on the trains. The scenery on the C2C line, though, is amazing, and that makes up for the terrible interior, in my opinion. So, to be honest, they're sort of drawed. Greater Anglia doesn't have the best scenery. C2C does have the best scenery. Greater Anglia doesn't have the worst trains, but C2C does have the worst trains. So, how am I supposed to do it? Well, in my opinion, I think, sorry Greater Anglia, but I think C2C is worse. The prices are, I think, the same. I think C2C maybe around about the same time as Greater Anglia, but the interior does let it down in my opinion, so I'm sorry about that. But well done Greater Anglia, I think you run better services to Southend, even though they're not as frequent. But that's only my opinion. So go out there, try this line for yourself, and tell me in the comments which train line do you think is best. That's all. Goodbye.